Hello Taiko drum fans, I just received my Taiko no Tatsujin drum session kit for Christmas. Bought over to the UK from my good friend in Japan. Filled his suitcase with it to deliver me my Christmas present, and I wanted to share it with you. I'd previously looked on YouTube to try and find some videos and you know, some look at the hardware and stuff, and mostly all I could find were Japanese people looking at the kit, which for me as an English speaker wasn't very useful. So hopefully this will be useful and you'll get some enjoyment out of it, and hopefully it will aid future purchases. So this is the PS4 Taiko no Tatsujin, if you hadn't gathered. This is the set that includes one drum, it includes the game, and includes the drumsticks, obviously. So the first thing is the hardware is really, really good here. The drums made by Hori, who are obviously big dogs in the game hardware scene, and it just feels great. It's a little bit plasticky, but it's not too clicky. You know, when you hit the front of the drum, it's got a good thud to it. But I will say, if you share your house with somebody, they're probably going to find it annoying if you're playing this late at night or something. You want to try and isolate yourself when you play this, because it does have a sound that's similar to the Rock Band drums, and you know, anytime you're hitting some plastic, it's going to make a sound, isn't it? But yeah, it's really good quality kit. So the drum itself has buttons on it, so you can control the menus and you can control your PS4 menus, you know, before you get in the game. So it's got a D-pad on it, it's got a PlayStation Home button, it's got R1, L1. What looks like a second D-pad on it is actually the four face buttons, the cross, the square, the triangle, and the circle. So it's got all the buttons you need on there, which is quite nice. I wasn't expecting that. I thought I was going to have a DualShock next to me also attached to the console. But you don't. The drum can control everything. The drum and the legs that it stand on come as separate pieces in the box, and you have to clip them together, but it's really easy. You don't have to follow any instructions. It's just 3 bits of plastic that you click in. And then the drum kit, the drumsticks, are just solid little pieces of plastic. They feel quite nice. And then the game's in a PS4 DVD case, the same as every other game. I think this case has got my copy of Persona 5 in it, because the Blu-ray's actually in my PS4. But yeah, I mean, the hardware's great. It attaches to your PS4 with USB, so make sure you've got a USB socket free, you know, if you've got a hard drive plugged in there or something. It's worth pointing out you can play the game with a DualShock 4. So if you just buy the game, you can just buy the game on its own, or you could download it from the Japanese PSN store. You can play it with a DualShock, and that's how I've played Taiko no Tatsujin on my Vita before, you know, with the buttons. And it's actually arguably easier to play with a DualShock 4. But let's be honest, it's not the proper Taiko experience, is it? You want the drum, you want to be hitting it. This is the kit that you need. And you can buy a second drum separate. So if you want to play 2-player, the game fully supports 2-player competitive. So you can buy another drum if you want one. So I think that's the kit. Nothing else to say there. Let's jump into some gameplay and have a look at it in action. So something you might notice on this footage, which I found really interesting, is that all the text is in English. So if your PS4 is set to the English language, because you can change that in your settings, the game will automatically change all of its in-game text to English, which is amazing, because you know I've played Japanese versions of Taiko no Tatsujin in the past, and they're never that complex, but just getting around the settings, and especially because you need to calibrate your drum in this game, having English text is really, really great. So that's a big thumbs up straight away. So talking of the calibration, just very quickly, modern HD TVs have lag. Like, depending on your telly, you might have more lag or less lag, but you will have lag, and you need to calibrate your drum, because otherwise you're not going to hit any notes. And the settings are all right for calibrating. There's an auto tool where you can plug in your PS4 microphone, and it'll beep, and it'll try and automatically calibrate it. That worked okay for me, but there's a few other settings, but it's just worth saying that you will need to calibrate your drum. So there's quite a large amount of songs on here. They're split into genres, as they always are. So we've got J-pop, we've got anime, we've got classical, Vocaloid, video game music, and then a load of Namco originals. So there's a good spread there. They have released extra DLC songs, but you need a Japanese PSN account to access those. So, as we know, the PS4 is completely region-free. I'm playing this on a UK account. You put in the disc, it'll play on anything. But if you want to download anything from the Japanese store, you need to do that on a Japanese PSN account. Now, if you make a secondary Japanese PSN account and buy a PSN credit in yen, and download that on the Japanese account, it will work on your UK account or your US account, but you do need to purchase it on that Japanese account. So yeah, the song selection, I think it's pretty good. Your J-pop stuff is it's got Gimme Chocolate by Baby Metal. It's got a KPP track. Unfortunately, it's not Pom Pom Pon or Family Party like the arcade machine, but there's a fairly good spread there. There's a lot of pop. J-pop makes up a large amount of the roster. Then you've got anime themes, so you've got the theme from Attack on Titan. You've got the theme from Your Name. So there's a few little nice modern things in there. You've got classical music, which is in all the Taiko games. You've got Vocaloid stuff, so it's Hatsune Miku, things like that. You've got video game music, and that's quite cool. You've got some music from Tekken, and you actually, I was going to say fight, you actually drum against Heihachi when you do the Tekken music, which is quite good. It's like a simulated competitive mode. And the same when you play the Pac-Man music, you drum against Pac-Man. And when you beat them, you unlock some customization stuff. So that's really cool. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the roster. As I said, there are extra songs to download now, but I haven't checked out any of the DLC yet because I don't own a Japanese account. I need to set that up at some point, so I can't speak to that. But the in-game library will definitely keep you going for a while. I'm no Taiko master, and you'll notice this when you see the footage. I'm certainly not hitting every beat, and I'm missing a lot. But I'm learning. I'm getting better every time I play. One thing I will say, which is slightly disappointing to me, and I think this might be more my setup's fault rather than the hardware's fault, is that when I play, the drum definitely slides away. It shifts on my table. Now, the table that I've got the drum sat on is quite slippery. It's wooden, but it's varnished wood, and I hit the drum quite hard, and they recommend you hit it hard. And I don't know, I'm a musician. I'm used to hitting drums hard, and I feel like you should. But the drum does slide away. And that has thrown me sometimes. I kind of have to adjust it while I'm playing. But I'm sure it'd be really easy to, set it on a mat or maybe stick something underneath the legs of it that will give it a little bit more grip and a little bit more friction. I haven't tried that yet, but I think it's worth saying, consider that. I've just been having a blast playing it. The difficulty and the progression through the difficulties is so well done. The easy difficulties, they are very easy, but they do a great job of teaching you the rhythms and the techniques you're going to need to move up the difficulties. And I'm kind of consistently playing on hard mode now, and it is harder, more triplets and things like that. But it's really satisfying, and it's really well done. The steps up between the difficulties, I've really enjoyed that. I'm just having a great time. I'm not sure if my wife in the other room's having a great time when I play it, but it's 2 thumbs up from me. So luckily I had a friend who could hand deliver me my kit from Japan, but as far as I'm aware, it's fairly easy to buy your own, even if you don't have a Japanese buddy. Sites like PlayAsia will import it for you with a bit of extra cost, and you might have to pay some customs charge when it comes through. It's quite a large box, so be prepared to pay a little bit if your country has import customs charges. But it should be fairly easy. If you don't want to get the physical kit and you're not bothered about getting the drum, you can just, as I said, get a Japanese PSN account and you'll be able to download the game digitally from the PSN store and play it with your DualShock. If noise is a problem for you, if you live in a flat maybe, or you've got housemates who don't want to hear the noise of a plasticky drum clacking all night, then the DualShock's a totally legitimate way of playing it. and if you get the digital version, that's totally fine. It's fully set up to play with the DualShock. You know, all the Taiko no Tatsujin games before have used DualShocks. As I said previously, they released it on the Vita, which doesn't have a drum peripheral. Like, you were only playing that with the buttons. So, yeah, if you can only use the DualShock and you want a digital version, it's so easy. So I can't recommend it enough, really. I'm looking forward to checking out some of the downloadable content and seeing what new songs they've added to it. But I'm just loving it. I'm having a blast, and I fully recommend it. I hope this video has been helpful if you were thinking of grabbing it and thinking of picking it up. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. But yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. All right, bye.